This is exactly what the Bengals needed. Joe Burrow just met with the press to talk about things such as the Trey Hendrickson contract and also how the offseason is going without injury. We'll break it down and what he had to say more concerning the upcoming season for the Bengals. Welcome to the jungle, guys. I'm Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. So happy to see you and to drop by for this exciting offseason. If you want to be up to date on all the news, the notes, breaking news as they come out, make sure if you're not already to hit that subscribe button. You might be a part of the 76% watching this now that is not already subscribed. This is the place to be up to date on all things Bengals. As we hear about the news breaking, you'll hear about it here. Well, Joe Burrow just met with the press after practice, and it's the first time since 2024 he has done it. So there's a lot of anticipation building of what he was going to say, especially when it came to the Trey Hendrickson situation. It seems like that's dominating the news right now is what does Joe Burrow think about Trey Hendrickson? All that drama of back and forth between the Bengals organization. Joe Burrow is the franchise quarterback, so you got to get his input. What is he thinking? It's important to get his thoughts because he's going to be bringing that team together. This could be a distraction with Trey Hendrickson and the constant, is there any communication? Is there not? Back and forth that we've been seeing. A lot of dispute about how much he should be paid, whether he should sit out the season, those types of things. Getting some clarity from your franchise quarterback is essential. So here is what Joe Burrow had to say today at the press conference. He said, "We'll see what happens with that. You guys all know how I feel about Trey. He's a great player. I love Trey as a guy. He goes out and plays well every single Sunday. He's very productive. He's a guy that deserves to get paid and get paid what he wants and what the market is." Interesting comments coming from Joe Burrow here, saying all the right things, saying Trey is a great guy. They get along well, all those things, and bringing out he's a productive player. That's how Joe Burrow is. He wants those elite guys on his team. He's very competitive, but that's what jumps out to me is deserves to get paid. Here earlier in the week, Hendrickson met with the press at practice and talking about that. Interesting to hear Joe Burrow say this, that he deserves to get paid, because another report just came out recently that the Bengals had offered Trey Hendrickson $28 million per year, and Hendrickson turned it down. So that tells us that Hendrickson is wanting probably in that 30 to 35 million range. Here you got Joe Burrow coming out and now saying, yeah, this guy needs to get paid. This guy deserves to get paid what he wants. Very interesting coming from Joe Burrow in that regard. The Bengals, they just aren't really saying much. That's the only problem we're at. We're seeing Trey Hendrickson obviously voice his concern. Now we're hearing it from Joe Burrow. The ball is now in the Bengals' court. Of course, the Bengals have all the advantage, right? They have Trey Hendrickson under contract. He is obligated to play under that contract. It is more around the $16 million, and that's where they are not coming to that agreement. That's about twice as much as what he would be getting this year if he would get around the 30 to 35 million that he seems to be demanding. And the Bengals don't have to really come out and give him a contract today. They can play that waiting game because, again, he's under contract this year. He's not a free agent. This isn't a situation where they have to get him signed before the season starts. They might play that waiting game, and the Bengals have shown in the past that they are willing to do that. So stay tuned for that, because the saga just seems to continue. But it's interesting to hear from Joe Burrow's comments, what he had to say concerning this. He thinks Trey's a great guy. Obviously, they get along well, but interesting to hear that comment specifically about his contract talks. But he went on further. There's more that Burrow brought out about Hendrickson. He said he was here last week. Obviously, as you guys know, that was an exciting day. It was great to see him. He came in and brought good energy. He's happy to see everybody. And like I said, I love Trey. I love seeing Trey. He's one of the most unique people I've ever been around or met. And I love that about him. And I think that's what makes him a great player. So he brings a unique energy that I'm always excited to see. Again, Burrow saying all the right things. He just went on to clarify again, this isn't something personal. I don't think of this guy any less. I think he's a great guy, despite the press saying, is this a distraction? That's what he was bringing out. You know, he was here last week. We saw him over in practice, but it's not going to mess with us. It's not something that we're going to be concerned about. So interesting comments in that regard. There was a few other things, though, that was brought out. I was really interested to see when it came to the schedule and those types of things. Burrow had a few things to say. I thought it was very interesting. This was about the primetime Baltimore game. This was from Lindsay Patterson, her ex. She was giving some play-by-play of the press conference today. Burrow said, playing in Baltimore on primetime for the 4th year in a row isn't ideal. Maybe we can get one in Cincinnati next year, please. I think that's what everybody's thinking. I love the comments there. I don't think the players are too happy to have to play the Ravens yet again in primetime. Certainly they're up to the task. They've shown that they've had the Ravens number at times. And when you have Joe Burrow back there, you know, he's put up some big numbers, even against some tough defenses when it came to the Ravens. I think that's showing, though, the frustration there. That's something, as fans, we were like, are you kidding? Once again, we're going to have to play the Ravens in primetime. A little bit of a refreshment, I thought. Just that was a more honest take from Joe Burrow, because he was saying all the right things. You know, he was saying a lot of different things about how the offseason's going, how he's feeling better, those kinds of things. But I had to share that. That was a funny quote. I thought I laughed a little bit about it. But he also went on, there was another quote I want to grab. This is just giving a little bit of a highlights of that press conference. Again, this was the first time Joe Burrow had spoke to the media since 2024. He was supposed to speak last week, but it got pushed to today. So it's exciting to see him back talking. It kind of gives you that anticipation for the season. But this was something else that he mentioned as well. If I can get it pulled up there. We got the core here, and that is exciting. So that was touching on T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. That was the first time he was talking about the extensions. It just feels like that was a year ago for all the talk we've been going with Hendrickson and everything on that drama. But yeah, that's great to see. The core is here, and that's exciting coming from Joe Burrow. That just shows he's ready to go. If you watch some of the clips from practice, it looks like he hasn't lost a beat. There was a pass going to Jamar Chase, and he caught it one-handed. He said it wasn't as smooth as he wanted to. Jamar Chase did. But you just see those guys, they have that perfection in them. Just gets you excited, again, for this upcoming season. Hearing comments from Joe Burrow and his thoughts on this whole Hendrickson situation. As fans, unfortunately, we're kind of stuck in the middle of all that, but it's still got to get you excited, because this upcoming season, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of expectations, especially with a healthy Joe Burrow. This is one of the few camps where he is healthy going into the season, so we'll have to just wait and see. Stay tuned. What else is going to come out as these practices go on? And any more news as Hendrickson as well, if it's going to become a distraction or not. But we want to hear from you. Comment below. What did you think of Joe Burrow's comments concerning Hendrickson? The comments on the Ravens game? We want to hear from you. So be sure you comment below. Share your thoughts on your excitement, what you're thinking of the upcoming season. And if you have not already, again, smash that subscribe to be up to date on all the news, all the notes as they come out. That's going to do it for now, guys. As we say, Uday.